So if we were to guide customers in a hierarchy format in a sequence of what they should be first caring, does that framework which you just mentioned cover these things? For example, if I'm a business, I'm a manufacturing company, I should at least know what compliances apply to my industry in my state, and I should take care of that at the first place and always keep that in the consideration. Step two would be it is probably not me. If I've taken care of, let's say, these two compliance which affects me directly, but now I'm working with providers like AI Accelerate, like any other companies, they're buying software, they're using software, they're using data, they're sending data. Uh, it may not apply directly, but there will be some indirectly, they might be violating some compliance or policies. In that case, does your framework educate them of what they should look for when they buy AI agents or when they hire AI agency company or a marketing agency company? Marketing is an afterthought when it comes to security, right? Like we just blindly say, hey, you are a marketing agency, come here. I don't think sometimes they discuss about security at all, and they start sending spreadsheets of data and this and that might blow up some big policy. So when you work with your providers, there should be some checklist of compliance and security and these things. And then, is there anything else which so one, two, yeah, at least if these two are covered, does your framework cover these things?
Yeah. I mean, great point on also the third parties, essentially, right? Because you're engaging someone else to perhaps play a role inside your business. I mean, we've been talking sort of in the confines of our own house and our own standards and compliance that we implement as a business, right? But now there's a third party that's bringing a technology into our portfolio. So you would use a third party risk assessment to align with the risks that are acceptable to you with those third parties. But if your industry imposes that you must follow HIPAA regulations, for example, you would most likely impose the requirements and the controls onto those third parties as well, even though they're not in a healthcare space. They're a technology company, but they're serving you as a healthcare organization. So therefore, you would expect them to follow the same regulations. So there is a certain extension of your risk appetite to all your vendors and partners through third-party risk management. So that would be essentially the part of that standard or compliance that you would implement within, that you're managing your third-party risk the same way that you're managing your own risk within your own confines.
So I'll wrap up this point with two things. One is if we take an example of a HIPAA customer wanting to deploy an AI agent, they should first see and check whether these technologies they're going to deploy is compliant some way or the other with HIPAA standards. That is the first thing they should do when it comes to enforcing. But let me ask my personal question to you, Frank. If an organization gets or has to enforce HIPAA, and let's say they run their infrastructure within a very tight control, and if they want me to deploy an AI agent, and if I say, hey, here is your AI agent, keep and deploy it completely within your control, within your Azure or AWS or local data center and everything, there's nothing going out. Is it safe for them to assume that the systems they're buying and deploying within their infrastructure, even if it is not fully HIPAA compliant, they will still not have any red flag, or whatever they buy and deploy within full control of their own still should be HIPAA certified?
Great question.